Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to another episode of Chatting with Chantel. It's your girl, Chantel. Happy Saturday to everybody. I hope that you are getting some rest for those of you that are not working. We thank God for allowing us to go through another work week, a week that was not promised, a week that we stayed on track, focused. We were intentional and purposefully driven in everything that we were doing. And we made it to Saturday, another day of rest. The weather is doing its own thing. It's now back cold. It's been raining and storming. But even in the midst of that, we still give God honor. We give him praise to be able to even experience that, to just be able to say, hey, I opened up my eyes and I was able to see the rain, feel the rain. I was able to know that I was cold or that I needed to put on boots or anything. Just to have the privilege of being alive and well is enough for me. Doesn't matter what the weather is like. Doesn't matter what's coming ahead. As long as God has given me another chance, another day to live, move, and have my being upon the earth, I am excited. Good morning. It has definitely been a long week for me. Not saying that anything bad happened, but it was just one of those weeks where it seemed like it was never going to come to an end. The days seemed longer. And I think it had a lot to do with the weather. Like the weather was all over the place. So sometimes you feel like you're all over the place. But anyway, we thank God for this Saturday. We thank him for the weather, the wind, the rain, the sun, even the snow for those that have experienced snow wherever you may be listening. Welcome to you all. Wherever you are listening from, please make sure that you like, share, and comment. Let me know that you're listening. Tag someone who may need this encouragement, who may need just to pick me up, who may need just a reminder that God is still able to do far beyond what our minds can think. Share this with somebody and allow it to bless their life. Allow it to motivate them. Allow it to encourage them. Welcome. For those of you that are joining us for the very first time, welcome. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We have a YouTube channel that is Chatting with Chantel. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification button, and you'll know when there is a new podcast that is uploaded. Of course, we are on all online podcast platforms. And so wherever you're listening to this in this moment, just take the time to share a hearts, a thumbs up, whatever. Just let me know that you're there. Thank you to all of those that continue to support, that continue to share, that continue to send these comments and messages and just small, short, encouraging words. Thank you so much. Without you on this earth that are those that encourage and those that see the greater good in people, what kind of world would this be? You are appreciated. You are valued. And I thank you. Thank you for taking the time to check this podcast out and allow it to be a part of your day. Welcome. I hope you all are getting ready to enjoy this Saturday. For those that need rest, for those that, have some house errands to run or whatever, however you're going to spend your day, make sure that you take time for yourself. Make sure that you give yourself the proper rest and relaxation that you need prior to the new week beginning, but prior to starting a new work week, prior to allocating yourself to other people, other things. Make sure you give you the proper time that is needed so that you can be successful in all that you do. So happy to be on here chatting with you all once again. We are now 3 weeks into the new year. 3 weeks into 2023. And I must say that, it has already been a wonderful, wonderful year. Opportunities are beginning to come open. Just so many things that I asked God for, or that I wrote down for myself, they're beginning to be open, especially challenging and allowing me to step out of my comfort zone and do things different, meet different people. Definitely thank God for just that moment. I thank God for the life that I live that is an example for those that do not know him, or for those that are needing someone to see that it is possible for change to happen. It is possible that God's grace will cover your life, grace and mercy that will follow you all of the days of your life. It is possible for us to get a second chance. It is possible that forgiveness is always available to us if we do it the right way. Definitely just excited to be back again. We are still doing things intentional, and we are purposefully driven on this podcast. We thank God. We're looking forward to another successful year, another successful season, and just so excited as things begin to roll into place, as things begin to find their way to different dates, and just excited and ready for it all to begin to happen. But I came on today, as this day is beginning. It's early in the morning, and of course this is my get up and devotion time that I have with God prior to me beginning my day. And even though it's Saturday, even though I could be asleep, I choose to allocate this time to spend first with God, and then on the podcast, making sure that I can encourage someone, I can motivate someone, or I can just have a word for someone to hear on today. And now that we're into a few weeks into 2023, we have, a lot of us have written our plans, we've written our visions, our goals, our aspirations, the changes that we want to make, and even the challenges that we have set for ourselves. We've made them, and we've looked at them, we've switched them around, we've kind of prioritized them, and we know what it is that we wish to accomplish this year. And with all of that being said, how are you doing? How are you processing it all? How are you feeling? Is everything still on the up and up with you? Are you still in a positive mindset that, what, I can do this. It's nothing to it. I just have to stay the course. Are you using that which you were equipped with in 2022? See, in 2022, we were given strength, we were given endurance, we were given wisdom, we were given patience, we were given kindness, we were given love, all of these things in which we're going to have to use in 2023 to manifest the things that we have. How are you feeling? Is it okay? I pray that you're not feeling overwhelmed, but if you are, let's talk about it. Let's chat. What about it has you overwhelmed? Do you feel like you have too much on your plate? Sometimes we can set our expectations really, really high, and then we pressure ourselves into making sure all of this stuff happens. And sometimes we have to go back to the drawing board, and we have to space things out. That's why the last time we were on, or one of the podcasts that I was talking about, I talked about prioritizing and making sure that you do those things that which are obtainable first. Get your rhythm going. Get a pattern in. Make sure you're doing all the footwork, the studying and the looking into and the research prior to getting to those things that are going to require you to give a little bit more. It's going to require a bigger push or a bigger stance in your life. How are you feeling? Please tell me that you're not feeling overwhelmed. Because the title of this podcast on this morning is I Can't and I Won't Be Overwhelmed. We're not going to be overwhelmed. We're not going to feel defeated. We're not going to feel like we've put too much on our plate. We are going to remain focused. We're going to remain open to all that God has for us. And even if you are feeling overwhelmed, well, maybe I said too much for myself, or maybe I'm not ready for some of the things that I have, played or began to write about, or I began to do, or maybe there's some other background work that I have to do before I get to working in that area. Don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel defeated. Don't feel like it's never going to happen or it's unreachable. But what you do is you remember and you think back to the scripture that is, it is Philippians 4:11, that I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Even if it doesn't get completed this year, even if you only begin it, even if it still remains in the research and the brainstorm process, even if you never even get to that point in 2023, the desire that you have, you're writing it and you're making it plain. You know what you want. You're putting it out there. You're letting God know that these are the requests that I have made. These are the desires of my heart. These are my wishes. These are my expectations. These are all the things that I want. And even if they don't happen this year, guess what? I'm not going to be so overwhelmed that I begin to cross things off. I'm not going to be so overwhelmed that I start second guessing myself and doubting myself that I can't do this, that I can't finish this, that I can't even begin a thing. But what you're going to do is, okay, so maybe this is going to require a little bit more work, more than I anticipated. And because I know what the outcome of that is, or because I know what type of outcome I want, that's one of the things that, I might have to push that down a little bit and begin to look into it more, or begin to pray and ask God, I need understanding on how to approach this thing, or I need some more wisdom and guidance. God, I need you to send me somebody that will direct me in the right path that I should go. We don't know everything. Nobody comes here on earth, or we don't obtain everything because we know everything. Some things we have to learn. Some things we have to study. Some things we have to apply ourselves. And then there are those things that we just happen to be good at because God has given us the talents. He's given us the wisdom and the knowledge to take an interest in that thing. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Doesn't mean it's going to come to pass. Doesn't mean you have to cross it off. But because you are moving in a way of excellence, and we don't want to do anything, and we don't want to take any shortcuts that are going to cause us to have to go back and revisit some things again. What we do is back to that word, we prioritize and we push it down, and we begin to look into it a little bit more and make sure that we're crossing all of our T's and we're dotting our I's. We can't, we won't, we shall not be overwhelmed. We're not even going to be unhappy. We're not going to be sad. Because if God did not want us to have it, He would have never allowed us to have the desire for it. If God did not want us to have it, He would have never put it even in our mind to begin to think on a thing. If God did not want us to have it, He would not have given us the power and authority in our lives and our tongue and how we speak. To speak those things into existence. If God did not want us to have them, He would not have given us the tools that we have surrounding us, or the people that we have in our lives, to make sure that these things are accomplished. I can't and I won't be overwhelmed. It's okay. And you know what? And sometimes we have to be okay with, guess what? I have to go back and write some more information down. Maybe I didn't do a good enough job looking into everything that I wanted. And because I'm moving in a way of excellence, I've got to go back and I have to begin to write down. I have to begin to take notes. I need to talk to some more people. God is going to begin to send you those that have favor in that area, and making sure that you are staying on track. See, the way God moves, the way God operates is he allows his people to do everything with the best intentions in mind, which means we're not taking any shortcuts, we're not breaking any laws, we're not doing anything under the table. But what we're doing is we're making sure that we obey the laws of the land as well as him. And that way, when you're doing that, everything lines up with his word, his will, and his way. I can't be overwhelmed. I won't be overwhelmed. I shall not be overwhelmed, because I know the God that is in me, the God that is over my life, the God that is covering me, the God that is guiding and leading me daily as I begin to continue to read and write those things in which I desire, as I prepare myself. 2022 was the year of preparation. So everything that we went through in 2022, everything that we had to go through, everything that we had to look at, everything that we had to learn, prepared us for 23. Now the only thing that we have to do, reaching back into 22, is making sure that all that we learned and all that we decided to grab a hold to in 2022 in preparation for 23, we got to bring that with us. If you forgot anything, if you forgot how much strength you're going to need, if you forgot how much encouragement you're going to need, go back, pull it on into 2023, because there are going to be moments where you need different things in your life. You're going to have to encourage your own self. You're going to have to push yourself. You're going to have to stand even when you're weary. And the Bible says that do not be weary in well-doing. Your well-doing is making sure that you complete those things that you want. God would have never given it to you if he did not want you to complete it. And no, there is no time date as to when we reach it. But as long as you're actively working, you're actively applying yourself, you're being purposefully driven, and everything that you're doing is intentional, the desires, your plans, your goals, your vision, your aspirations, the challenges, and the changes that you desire, they will begin to open up. They will begin to manifest. They will begin to happen, because you refuse to be overwhelmed. You won't be overwhelmed, and you shall not be overwhelmed. I can't and I won't. I refuse. That's what I'm telling myself every time I look at myself in the mirror. No, ma'am. No, you shall not have that second thought. Enemy, get thee behind me. And I look at, and you look at yourself in the mirror and you begin to speak that you can do this. You got this, girl. Pick your head up, dust yourself off, fix your hair, beat your face, make sure you looking the part, and you get up and you try it again. You get up and you keep going. You get up and you figure out what went wrong, fix it, and you keep on moving. What we're not going to do is we won't stop. We won't get so caught up in our feelings and our thoughts and in our mind that we talk ourselves out of what we're asking God for. And God already said if we ask, he'll make sure that we give it to him. Of course, our relationship has to be right with him. And if it's right with him, God will even begin to check us, even when those times come where doubting tries to creep up around us, or discouragement tries to creep up around us, or we even begin to think, hey, I'm not even worthy of a thing, or maybe this is not for me. That's when God begins to step in, or he'll send that individual to let you know, that's not what we're doing in 2023. I can't allow you to go down that road. I won't allow you to speak those things over your life. And I shall not stand and watch you walk away from all that God has promised you. I won't be overwhelmed. I can't be overwhelmed. We're not going to be overwhelmed with nothing but the presence of God. We can be overwhelmed by him because guess what? He's so awesome. He's so mighty. He's so loving and he's so kind that sometimes we have no choice but to be overwhelmed by his presence. But what we're not going to get overwhelmed by is the things of the world. Because, see, none of that's going to matter. None of that can we take with us. None of that can we hold on to forever. Those are things of the world. But the one thing that we can hold on to is Christ. The one thing that we can believe is that he's always going to be with us. Can I encourage you today that as we are in week 3 of January 2023, tell yourself, write this down. Stick it on a mirror. Put it on the doorway. Put it in your study area. Philippians 4:11. I can do all things through Christ. It does not matter what it is that I want to do, whether it's fixing my credit, whether it's losing weight, whether it's going back to school. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. If I'm trying to write a book, or if it's something that I'm trying for the very first time, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. That's my encouragement for today. As we go throughout this Saturday and you're spending time with yourself, making sure that your mental is intact, making sure that your health is intact, remind yourself that I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. I know who God is. I know the power in which he possesses. I know what he said I can have. I know who he says that I am. I know that I'm chosen. I know that I'm blessed. I know that I'm covered. I know that he has his hand upon my life. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to let anybody or anything or the enemy try and come in and deter the thoughts that God has rooted and planted in me, to know myself, to know what he's called me to do, to know that it's going to take some work. But even with that work, guess what? I'm willing to do the work. I'm not going to let anybody talk me out of that. I'm not going to let anybody try and discourage me in those moments, because I realize that God would not have given it to me if he didn't want me to manifest it in my life, or manifest it over my life, or in my home, or on my job. God is so amazing that he knows exactly what we need to make us flourish. He knows exactly what we need to give us that push or that boost that we need. I can't and I won't be overwhelmed. I won't be sidetracked. I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to make sure that every day I'm doing something to work on those things in which I've asked. I'm going to do something. You don't even have to work on them all. But guess what? As long as you are working on something, let's not get so comfortable just because we're in the beginning of the year 2023 and we feel like we have time. We have to work. It takes work to get where we're going. God has given us good health. He's given us life, health, and strength. He's given us power and authority. He's allowed us to be in our right mind. He's given us good health. We have to work while we have the time. Work while it's day. And that way we can reap the benefits of our labor. Our labor won't be in vain. If you continue to work, you will reap the reward. That's who God is. That's what he does. That's how awesome he is. Remember, encourage yourself and somebody. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. I am a child of God. And because I know who my Father is, and because I have that relationship with him, and because I'm constantly talking with him, I know that I can't and I won't be overwhelmed. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. This is just a moment that we come on and we encourage and we just remind ourselves of who we are in Christ. Remind ourselves that God is the author and the finisher of our faith, of our life, of everything that we have our hands upon. God is the author of everything, and we honor him on today. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for those that are listening and chiming in. Don't forget to make sure you like, share, subscribe, send to somebody and let them know, hey, even though it didn't work out this time, if first you don't succeed, you try again. Don't you mark that thing off. Don't you cross it off. Don't you erase it. If first you don't succeed, you try again. God has given us word. He's given us knowledge. He's given us wisdom. Philippians 4:11 says, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Everybody have a blessed day. Make sure you enjoy your Saturday. Be safe. For those that are experiencing cold weather, make sure you stay warm. If you have the opportunity to have some warm weather, enjoy it. Take some time to just spend with God and appreciate that which is around you. This is your girl Chantel. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, know that I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Bye.